Did you know that there are many different casket types and options? The main categories are metal and wood as far as material goes. So with metal, you have different grades of metal. You have your copper and your bronze at the top end. I call it the Michael Jackson level. And then every budget there beneath is all different types of metal, like stainless steel, different thicknesses of carbon steel. And the benefit to metal, in my opinion, is that because it can be painted and have different finishes and all different kinds of hardware, you have a lot more opportunity to kind of personalize, follow someone's flavor. I love to ask people, especially when they're shopping for a casket for a man and they're like, I don't know what he would have liked. And I'm like, tell me the color of at least 3 of the cars he's owned in his life, because that'll point you there. And almost every family is like, oh my God, he always goes with blues, or dude, he is a brown car guy. Like, that's how you know. And with women, I like to say, hey, when she would be picking out a dress for a major event like a wedding, would she go for something really bright and flashy and sparkly? Or was she very neutral and wanted elegance and timelessness? Those will kind of give you some vibes as to where to go with the personalization. So in metal, the other big feature I like to mention is that metal has the ability to be sealed. So with metal caskets, you can have a gasket seal, and what that does is it ensures that nothing will ever enter the casket. However, things that might need to leave and pressures can escape. This is a really big preference with some people. They want no water, no bugs, no dirt entering their casket. Other people are like, hey, I want to return to the earth of which I came. That's where most people will go with wood. Like Jewish caskets, for instance, are made with holes and with no metal hardware whatsoever, because the entire casket is intended to decompose with the person. But wood caskets come in all different types, and again, material kind of depicts the price. You have the Michael Jackson presidential level, which has the mahoganies, the cherries, the finish like a piano. And then in every other budget, you have select hardwoods, you have oak, you have poplar, you have cherry finishes. So you kind of go for that natural look. If the person had certain, I don't know, I always like to ask when it comes to wood about their home furniture. Some people are oak people. I always get oak for my bedroom set. They always get cherry for their coffee tables. That kind of gives you a depiction of the style. Caskets can come, especially wooden, beveled in all different ways, making all different shapes, very sharp lines, very crisp or very curvy, and a lot of personalization can go into them as well. So that's the biggest category with wood and metal. A lot of people are having services before they get cremated. And in that case, you have 2 options. You can use a rental casket, which usually is made out of metal because the outer shell of the casket looks like a very traditional casket, usually neutral in color. And the inner part of the casket, everywhere your loved one is touching, is like an inner lining that has the pillow, the satin, everything that you would normally see inside of a casket actually comes out of that metal shell. And that is what goes with your loved one to the crematory, because nobody gets cremated without being in some kind of a container. And an alternative container is exactly that. It's like a cardboard box, usually a pine bottom. It's also used for shipping if you have to send your loved one from one area to another. We can do another video about that. So the rental casket allows you to have a viewing, minimize the cost. It's usually about 30 to 40% less than the lowest price cremation caskets. But there are also a lot of people that like the idea of being cremated in the casket that they are viewed in. So any wooden casket that is in the cremation casket category is made to essentially be cremated without hurting the retorts at the crematory. So the metal hardware that's used is specifically made, blah, 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 blah. But what's nice about that is I like to entice families to put things with their loved one, especially at the end of services before the casket's closed. And this way you're ensuring that all of those items stay with that person, and the casket, just like the liner and the alternative containers, all get cremated with your loved one. So it's a nice way of kind of keeping things whole, and especially if there's a cremation casket, with that cherry finish that matches your furniture, you're able to personalize a little bit more, whereas most funeral homes only have 1 or 2 rental caskets shells available on site. So you kind of have to go with those colors. So we really try to find something for everybody. And again, everyone has different preferences, everyone has different personalities, and we're here to match whatever you guys need.